On this edition of Lexington Now, more good news for lovers of the great outdoors, Tree Week, and helping restore a piece of history. I'm Neil Noah, and welcome to Lexington Now for the week of October 4th, 2021. Last week, we brought you the news of the opening of the Brighton Rail Trail Bridge. And there is more trails news this week with the official opening of a new segment of the Citation Trail.
This really has been a wonderful week for trail news. Earlier this week, we cut the ribbon to officially open the new Brighton Rail Trail Bridge. And today we're officially opening this new section of Citation Trail. It doesn't seem like that long ago that we were here breaking ground, right? It's been a year. And now we can bike, run, walk, jog. I think people can be on rollerblades, whatever, along the Citation Trail as we enjoy this fall weather. Citation Trail travels through Maple Lane Greenway and connects to Lucille Drive. There's also a connection to Masterson Hills Park Trail. It's all about the connections, right? And eventually this trail will connect to Masterson Station Park. We've been working on our extensive trail system for many, many years. And now we're connecting them, making them easier to access from neighborhoods. We currently have about $53 million in trail projects in some phase of development, and that's huge.
Our trails hold many values. Not only do they allow for fitness and activity, but even more importantly, they connect us all together. This trail section may be smaller in size, but its connectivity between the Town Branch Trail and the Legacy Trail is vital in connecting our neighborhoods. Our trails are pivotal to bringing these connections together, especially where we live, work, play, and learn.
This is an exciting day. The key to increasing our multimodal transportation infrastructure is connectivity. They both talked about it. It's a matter of getting those piece to piece to get everything connected. This is just another piece that will help complete that process. And you can look at it for many reasons. For health, we can decrease our health care costs by getting out here and exercising. You look at people who now can commute, they can get here to get to downtown, so we have less traffic. So that's better for our environment. It's better for our quality of life to bring people in, to keep them here for economic development. For the property values for people around here, it's shown that when there's trails around here, your property values increase. And for me, it's just fun because I get out and get to use them. And I, as an avid cyclist, am looking forward to being able to get on this trail. I've used it, even though this is our official ribbon cutting. I've been out here and used it and look forward to using it again.
As everyone before me has already said, we're very proud of this project. It is not large in size or scope, but it is huge in the connection that it brings to our trail network, further establishing Lexington as a welcoming place for multimodal transportation options. This connection to the neighborhoods all the way into downtown provides a missing link that provides safe transportation for all of those other non-motorized transportation options. We are also proud of the fact that our teamwork with our Division of Engineering, our project manager, our consultant, and our contractor allowed us to bring this project in under budget at a time when that is hard to do in 2020. We saw so many variables in delivery of services and cost of services, and so proud to be able to keep this project within our funding allotment. As she mentioned, this is 2,100 feet long. We mentioned that at the groundbreaking. It's not a big project, but it is very important, and that's why it was allowed to be done pretty quickly and finished, in our world, pretty fast. So thank you very much, and we look forward to having everybody out here on the trails.
All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yay! Woo!
Lexington's outdoors just got another boost with the ribbon cutting on a newly improved green space on Dantzler Court. Here's more.
Lexington is home to many beautiful neighborhoods, and this is definitely one of them. The city owns property in many of our Lexington neighborhoods, and often the property that we purchase is because of significant flooding. So this area was home to 3 houses, which were frequently plagued with flooding. And now it's an attractive green space with an adventure garden, new trees, wildflowers, a bench, a stream buffer, and a geocaching station, an outdoor treasure hunting game using GPS-enabled devices. And we're starting to put those in many of our neighborhood parks. So these improvements cost approximately $16,000, and the funds came from a variety of sources: Bluegrass Community Foundation, the Green Space Commission and Green Space Trust, the Urban County Council's Neighborhood Development Funds, and the city's Division of Environmental Services through the Water Quality Management Fee. The Green Space Commission is improving vacant green space areas to enhance our neighborhoods and make green space more accessible. Just as we are connecting our trails, we are also working to connect our green spaces that are in walking distance to the trails. And we're starting to get some real national coverage on this because we're determined to make these connections wherever we can.
So that you know, the Dantzler Court Neighborhood Green Space consists of 3 different lots in total, and those lots were purchased in 2007 through 2008. And in early 2019, the Green Space Commission began development of a pilot program to repurpose underutilized water quality lots and to turn them into inviting and vibrant neighborhood green spaces. That's what we have here today. It's so beautiful. So to talk a little bit more about the process, public engagement and design took place in early 2019, and the implementation began in early 2020 with continued improvements during the pandemic, with the installation of these final elements of the green space by the end of this past summer. And you might be interested to know that this site is located within the Wolf Run watershed, and the Big Elm Fork runs along the back edge parallel to the railroad. As the mayor mentioned, the Green Space Commission added a stream buffer with native species, and that's between the adventure garden and the stream, and that serves to mitigate stormwater by providing improved infiltration. And then we also talked a little bit about the geocaching station, which is hidden on site, and that's all about engaging people within this green space. It provides educational information about water quality, which is very cool. And that's part of a citywide initiative so that people can learn more about spaces like these all throughout our community, and that can be accessed on the LFUCG website.
When we were doing this, and I was telling the people on the Green Space Commission that we had some extra money here because we had that discretionary fund, that I want to make this our showcase. So when we do other projects, as like the mayor said, we have the Eureka Springs that we're now looking at doing. We want to have this one to be our showcase, our model, that you can say this is what it can look like. So the neighbors will be proud of it. The city will be proud of it. Like the mayor, when she first came here, I live not too far, so it's personal to me too. So I expect to be spending some time out here enjoying this like the neighbors and the rest of Lexington.
1, 2, 3. Yay!
When we come back, we'll tell you all about Tree Week. Welcome back to Lexington Now. Lexington's 4th annual Tree Week begins this weekend, and we caught up with Claire Hilbrecht of the Urban Forest Initiative to find out what it's about.
So Tree Week is a week-long celebration of Lexington's tree canopy and green spaces. It is composed of 65 plus events in Lexington, and it also has events all over the state of Kentucky in Berea, Paducah, Hazard, and Georgetown. And really it's just a grassroots community-led event that features family fun and educational and lots of different art events around town. Tree Week is really important for the community because it is a community building event. So it allows people to come together and connect regarding the tree canopy. And Lexington's tree canopy is actually declining. So some of the importance of Tree Week is being able to promote the tree canopy in ways that are educational, fun, and accessible to people. It's also just a really good way to get outside and, like I said, connect with the community, especially after 2 years of a really hard pandemic. And so this is a way for people to engage in safe COVID friendly ways. And finally, it's just really important that we protect our urban canopy in the face of a changing climate. Urban trees are really important at mitigating the effects of climate change, and having a robust and healthy tree canopy and expressing the importance of that to the community is really critical when we start preparing for a changing climate. Some events that we're featuring this year are an Adopt a Tree challenge. So Adopt a Tree is a program that the Urban Forest Initiative developed, and the idea is for community members to engage with a tree and measure it, take a picture with it, and kind of take ownership of that tree. So it's kind of a stewardship type event, and that can happen at your home, so there's not one specific place where that happens. So it's a week-long event. Some other events that are happening during Tree Week are a week-long climate change poster making event, so raising awareness for climate change and imagining a better future within the face of a changing climate. And that event will culminate in a climate change convening in Castlewood Park on October 16th at 3 p.m., where we will just talk about some of the things that worry us with climate change and imagine a better future together. Most of the events that are occurring during Tree Week are free to the public, and you don't need to register for them necessarily, though there are some events at Flora Cliff, for example, that do require pre-registration and a small fee. So you can go to ufi.ca.uky.edu/treeweek to look at the events. There is a list of them at the bottom of the page, and there's also an at-home printable copy of the event brochure that is accessible to the public. There are lots of events that are geared toward children and families. One event is an art and activity event in Duncan Park. So that is in partnership with The Nest, which is a community organization that helps out families. We also have several events occurring in the public libraries and others that are occurring in partnership with Fayette County Public Schools. And so it's very possible that your children will be engaging with Tree Week in the classroom. Tree Week is happening on October 9th through the 16th, though there are some pre-Tree Week events on October 8th.
A historic restoration project is about to get underway at Raven Run. But as we found out, it may not be what you're expecting.
The event that we're out here to talk about is a volunteer day where instead of focusing on what we normally focus on, which is land management, we're doing a little bit of historical preservation work. So we're going to be working in the Prather Cemetery, which is a historic cemetery here on the site, learning how to properly clean headstones, and we'll get a little hands-on experience as well and hopefully get the cemetery looking really nice. The Prather Cemetery, the first burial in it occurred in the very early 1800s, It is a family cemetery, so it's relatively small. There's in the mid-20s in terms of burials out here. The last burial, I believe, was in the 1930s, and most of the individuals who are buried here are members of the Prather family, which lived in the house adjacent to this site. The Prathers moved to this area in about 1800, so the homestead site is, close to 220 or 230 years old. The first Prather to move to this site, Baruch Prather, was actually a veteran of the Revolutionary War. So you'll be able to see when you head out here that his headstone in the cemetery has, the Revolutionary War marker on it. Generations of Prathers lived in this homestead site really up until the early 1900s or possibly past that. They were a middle-class farming family. They primarily, farmed hogs and cattle, and of course they had crops as well. So it would have been, a homestead site that was very typical kind of Kentucky during that time period. So it's a really interesting experience to come out and see a site that's been really relatively well preserved. You can get an idea of what it would have looked like, if you were to come out here in 1810. There's definitely a lot of misconceptions out there about sort of the appropriate way to clean headstones. They are really, really fragile, so they don't hold up to things like pressure washers or, steel wool, steel brushes, that kind of thing. You really want to use as gentle a cleaner as you possibly can and use as soft a brush as you possibly can. We use a special cleaner for the headstones out here, and it's generally recommended across the board, called D2 Biological Cleaner. And it's really, really excellent for this kind of thing. It gets rid of all of this lichen and growth that you see on there without causing any damage to the headstones. For this program, we're going to be focusing on preservation and cleaning methods that are really more on the basic side of things. We could get into more complex things like mortar and epoxy, and even using, hoists to move stones so they're in an upright position again if they've kind of fallen over time. Those are all really pretty involved day-long projects to work on. So for this program, we'll be focusing on cleaning, and we'll also be focusing on removing earth and vegetation that have started to encroach, especially on some of these flat stones that are made to lay flat on the ground. They're really susceptible to being covered over time, so we'll be working on that as well. We'll be doing this event on October 9th. We'll start at 1 p.m. and we'll probably work for a couple hours, but of course people are welcome to kind of come and go within that time frame, whatever works for their schedule. Obviously, Halloween is on everyone's mind this time of year, and I think it's a great connection to the kind of spooky season to be thinking about it in terms of, these awesome historical artifacts that we have out here at places like Raven Run, getting out into the beautiful fall weather and learning a little bit and helping the park while you're at it. Our signups are online right now. You can go to lexingtonky.gov/Raven Run Nature Sanctuary, and there's a link to events that are upcoming at the site. There are some spots available left in this program, so if anyone would want to sign up for it, hop on there, get yourself registered. If you have any questions, you're welcome to call Raven Run Nature Sanctuary. It's 859-272-6105, and we'll be happy to answer them for you. I'm really excited about this event. I think it's going to be an awesome learning experience. I think we're going to get the cemetery looking really nice, and I'm really ecstatic that people have been so interested in it so far.
Council is on fall break this week, so we have a lighter schedule of televised meetings for you. And for the most accurate and up-to-date information on all city business, check out our website at lexingtonky.gov. And now here's a look at this week's televised meetings. And we continue to keep you up to date on how the city is handling the pandemic via our official COVID-19 response site, including testing and vaccination sites. Simply click on the banner at the top of our homepage. That's all for now, but as always, you can keep up with us on social media. Check out the latest traffic updates on Twitter at LexRex, or catch our live traffic cams on lexingtonky.gov. For all of us at Lex TV, I'm Neil Noah, and that's it for now.